Hello everybody, today I will be talking about Raspberry Pi 4 single board computer, and if you are interested in this, I'm going to show you what you'll need to get in order to get started, and I will show you how to assemble the Raspberry Pi 4 into the Raspberry Pi case as well. So these are some of the things you'll need before you get started. You'll need the Raspberry Pi 4 single board computer, which you see right there on the left. They have three options that you can choose from. The first is a 1 gigabyte version, 2 gigabyte version, and 4 gigabyte version. You could pick any of them, doesn't matter. If you just want to use it as a controller, I guess the 1 gigabyte version would be enough. If you want to use it as like a gaming platform or for like Retropie or something, I recommend you get the 4 gigabyte version. Or if you want to use it as a computer, the 4 gigabyte version would be good. So the first thing you need to get is the board, of course, the Raspberry Pi 4 board, and you need to get a micro SD adapter. So that would be a USB micro SD adapter. You would need that to format the micro SD card, so you can use it in your Raspberry Pi computer. And you'll need a USB-C power supply. If you want to use the USB-C power supply for your smartphone or something, it probably won't work because you have to have at least I think 3 amps in order for it to work. So if it's less than that, it's not going to work. So you have to buy a special USB-C power supply for this board. And you'll need to get the Raspberry Pi 4 case with heat sinks and fan as well. You'll need to get a micro SD card. They come in various sizes, from 32 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes. For me, I will be buying the 128 gigabyte version. You could buy the 32 if you want, doesn't matter. And you'll need a small Phillips screwdriver. This will come with the case. It came with my case, actually. And you'll need a pair of pliers as well, which I didn't add in that parts and tools thing right there. You'll need a pair of pliers as well. And that's all you need to get started. This diagram shows the pin layout, the GPIO pin layout of the Raspberry Pi 4 motherboard. So in order to connect the fans, so make sure you connect the fan into the top part of the case first, and also connect the pins into the motherboard. So as you can see in which is highlighted in the green in the middle, the green rectangular box. So the red represents 5 volts, So it's on the bottom right of the GPIO pin, which you see on the diagram. So the red has to connect, the red wire from your fan has to connect to the red GPIO pin. It could connect to either 5-volt pins. It doesn't matter. But I'm just going to put it in the second one. That's how I'm going to connect it. And the black is a ground part, and that connects to the black part on your GPIO pin. So that's all you have to do to connect it. And if you don't connect it correctly, it's not going to work. So the next thing you should do is there's like a thin film, like a plastic film, kind of like a sticker on the top of your case, acrylic case. You're going to remove that, so make sure you do that before you start assembling. And there's also a plastic film on the bottom of the bottom plate of the case, and make sure you remove that too before you start, or it's not gonna be clear. So you just remove those two. And then next thing you want to do before you start assembling is what you see on the right diagram. Put all the heat sinks onto the chips on your Raspberry Pi board, Raspberry Pi 4 board. So it's like a sticker, and then you just stick it on. That's all you have to do. It's like a thermal pad or something, a thermal pad sticker. And you just stick them on the chip, and that's it. It's pretty simple and self-explanatory. Okay, now I'm going to go on to the actual assembly. Now let's assemble the case. So it goes like this. The bottom part is here. The next part is this part. Black part goes down like that. And the next part is the clear part. It goes down like that. So it looks like that. So it has to be like this, or the USB-C cable won't fit, basically. And then we put this on the top. Goes in just like that. The next part is this part. That just clips right on there. Next part is this clear part. You notice how this part is opened? Because we have to get access to the I/O ports in the back. And this part, it's open on this side because we need to get access to the ports, the pins over here. You see it? And this part goes here, and the top part is all closed. Basically it. And this part goes in like this. The cutout is here. The pins are right there. The pins are right there, as you can see. So let's put the pins in. So the red one is, we're going to put it in pin 2. It's hard to do on camera. I'm just going to put it in. So this case just fits in like a jigsaw puzzle or something. And if you don't do it correctly, it's not going to work. It's very late right now, just tired. Okay, I got the red pin, black pin, and pin 3 on the bottom. Okay, I got the pins in. You see it? The red is in pin 2, the black is in pin 3. From right to left, that is. I'm going to make sure the pins are firmly in place, or the fan's not going to work. And then just get it in like that. Now it's incorrectly. I'm just going to put the screws in. Just weave it right in. Make sure it comes out through the bottom, just like that. And then put the nuts or bolts right on the bottom. I'm going to tighten it later. I'm just going to get the screws in first and then I'll tighten it later. How about that? It's a heck of a lot easier. Gotta align the holes and then get it through, just like this. Do the other one. Okay, the next one's in. The last one. Right, it's in. Now I'm gonna put the nuts in there. Make sure you take the sticker off. There's a sticker on the bottom and the top. I'm gonna leave that in the video descriptions or the beginning part of the video. I forgot to tell you that. The instructions on this is very poor for this case. It's almost non-existent. A lot of these products don't come with good instructions. They should at least tell you how to do something, you know, the basics of something. Now to get these screws on, so you get pliers, hold it with a plier and then screw it in, but don't over tighten it. Just make sure it's firmly in place. That looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm gonna get this part. Okay, that's firmly in place. Now I'm gonna get the others.
That's not too good. I wanted to go in a little more. That's not too tight. I'm not really satisfied with that. Okay, that's better. Don't think I got this one. Okay, I think I'm pretty satisfied with this. It's done. And I forgot to tell you, I put the micro USB drive right here. So it goes in just one way. So take it out, it's a little notch, and then you just put it in. Upside down, of course. It just goes in right there. Now it's set up. It should work. See, if we didn't put it in correctly, then if this slot was over here, then you couldn't put the pins in. You wouldn't have access to this part. See how it's open like that? You could also put the pins in like this way as well. And if you didn't do this part right, then you couldn't put the USB-C port in here, see? This fits. See, it fits just fine. If you didn't do it right, if you put this part over here, then you couldn't put the USB-C port. It would get like blocked or something, you know. So this part has to be like open for you to have access to the I/O ports in the back. So this was done correctly. So yeah, it's ready to use. Now we'll just have to flash the micro SD card and put Raspbian on it, and should be ready to go. Okay, the next thing you're going to have to do is to put your micro SD card into this USB 3 micro SD card reader, which you see right here. So flip it over, it goes in that way. So my SD card came with this SD adapter for the micro SD card, which is this thing right here. So I'm just going to stick it in here like that and get it in. And there's a locking mechanism in here. Which is right there on the top. You see it. And I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it down. Now it's locked. So as you can see, there's a locking mechanism right here. Now it's locked. Now I'm going to put it into this card reader. So into the SD port, which is on the top, which is right there. So I'm just going to stick it in. And you just stick this into a USB port on your computer. If you stick it into a USB 3.0 port, it's going to be faster. If you stick it in a USB 2.0 port, it's going to be slower. So I only have a USB 2.0 port available on my computer, so you could stick it in there. So that's all you do.
Okay, the first thing you're going to need is a Raspbian operating system for your Raspberry Pi 4 single board computer. The one I'm going to be selecting is a Raspbian Buster with desktop and recommended software. You could select the other ones if you want, but I want all the software on it, or most of it, so I don't have to download and install them individually. This will take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes depending on your internet connection. And the next piece of software I want is Etcher software. This copies your Raspbian operating system and images it onto a micro SD card. So download both of those pieces of software and then after it finishes, run Etcher. So I'm gonna fast forward here instead of boring you with watching you watch how long it takes to download the Raspbian operating system. So I'm gonna fast forward this and get back to it. Okay, now it's done downloading. Just make sure you know where this file is. So I'm just going to locate where I downloaded the file. And that's the file that I downloaded. And it's a compressed file basically. So it's what you downloaded was smaller. But it's actually a large file. It's about 6 gigabytes. Now I'm going to run the Raspbian software. First let me find it. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to start the software, the Etcher software. And I'm going to first select the image. That's what I downloaded. So that's where, that's okay, that's the operating system. Now I'm going to select the hard drive. I mean, the micro SD card, sorry. So I'm going to select that. Okay, I'm going to go back to select target. Okay, I didn't select it. Okay, I have to click on it. You have to see the green check on it. And then now I'm gonna make sure you have the right flash drive, because once you do this, everything is deleted on it. So it says attention and all that. It thinks it's not a USB stick because it's such a large it's so large in storage space. So yes, I want to install this image on there. Okay, just waiting for it to start up. This is going to take anywhere from 4 to 5 minutes, and it's going to depend on your hard drives. I mean your micro SD card speed. Okay, gonna fast forward through this. You don't have to watch this. Okay, it's almost done flashing now. The next thing it's going to do is it's going to validate, and after that's finished, you're ready to use it. Okay, after you're done using Etcher and finish installing your operating system on your micro SD card, you just take this out and then unlock it. Now this was locked, now I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to put it into the other position. I moved it from here to there, so now it's unlocked and I can take the SD card out. Just like that, and just take it out. There's a little cut, there's a little notch there. You just put your fingernail there and pull it out. Now I'm going to put this into my Raspberry Pi single board computer. The way you do that is you just put it upside down like that. Get the micro SD card, which is right here. Stick it in this way. Just like that, and just gently push it in. And that's all you do. Now you just start up the computer and get it to work. Now I'm going to connect the cables into the Raspberry Pi board. So this is the power connector, which you see right here, with this USB 3 cable, and I'm going to connect it into my Raspberry Pi board, so it goes in just like that. Okay, that's a power connector, and my power connector has a power switch, so I can just, I think this is on and that's off. And the next thing I want to put in is the micro, this is a micro HDMI port, and this is a regular HDMI port, so there's two of them. This goes into the Raspberry Pi 4 port, and this goes into your television. For me, I don't have this connector on my television. I got this connector, so that goes into television. This goes into the Pi, Raspberry Pi, so you can connect it into either port, this one or that one, it doesn't matter. Let me connect it. Okay, now it's in. It just goes in. You just plug it in and that's it.
Doesn't go in so easily. Finicky. Okay, yeah, it just goes in like that, and you just connect it to your television or your monitor or whatever, and that's it. And next, connect the USB keyboard and a mouse. I would suggest plugging in the USB mouse and keyboard into the 2.0 ports, the USB 2.0 ports, which you see right there. So as you can see, my Raspberry Pi 4 single board computer is indeed working. The fan is working. Everything's working. So what it's doing is sucking the air in, and the air is going into the heatsink, and then it's coming out through the little holes or slots. So it's working, and I was able to turn it on, and yeah, it booted and everything. Okay, I just started my Raspberry 4 single board computer. It seems to be working. So I'm just setting it up. Use US keyboard. Time zone. Los Angeles. So when you first do this, it's going to take a couple of minutes, because it has to configure everything. Put my password in here. Okay. I didn't put any network devices on this. So I'll connect via Wi-Fi. I don't remember my password, so I'm gonna go get it. Got my password, put it in there. Let's see what that is. Let's see if that works. Okay, my Wi-Fi is connected. It's working. I'm gonna fast forward through this. You don't have to watch all this. Okay, I have updated everything for this computer, and now I'm just going to show you a few things. So I went there, went to preferences, and I changed the graphics card memory setting. Okay, go to Raspberry Pi configuration, Go to performance. Also, there's various interfaces you could enable on your Raspberry Pi device. You could enable the camera and all these other things. But I changed the memory from, I think it was about 60 megabytes to 260 megabytes. So let's increase it a little bit more. No, that 260 is fine. And after that, you just press OK and the computer will reboot and you will have more memory for your Raspberry Pi 4 computer. So I want to test a few things out. So this is a command console for Raspberry Pi. This is based on the Linux operating system, except it's using the ARM architecture. It's not using x86 architecture, CPU architecture. So let's go here and press top to check resources. These are the resources I'm using for my computer right now. Computer is at idle. CPU is 0.7% usage. Not bad. Free memory is right there. I think it's 8,000. Let me see. 8,055 megabytes or 3.055 gigabytes free. The total is 3.723 gigabytes total memory. I'm going to test out some videos. The sound and everything works for this computer, which I will demonstrate. Oh, one more thing. You could change the desktop if you want to. Go to appearances and settings. Go to desktop. You can change the picture to whatever you want. I think I like bridges. Okay, this is good. That's a good thing. Let's see. I'm gonna test out this video at 1080p. This is playing the video at 1080p. You can see. Let's see how much resources are being used. 31.6% at 1080p. Now it drops. Putting a fan on here certainly does help keep this thing cool. Just look at the video quality. See if there's any frame skipping or anything like that. It runs pretty good. Okay, it's running. Anywhere from roughly 20% to 30% CPU usage. And streaming 1080p videos with this Raspberry Pi 4 single-board computer. Okay, good. That's enough. So I'm going to show you some of the features of this operating system and what it came with when I downloaded that package. It came with various compilers. I don't know about any of these because I don't use them. Came with some educational software, Office software. I think that's LibreOffice is kind of like Microsoft Word. You could use it to use it as a word processor. Hello everyone. This is Ace 1000KS 1975. Let me change the fonts on it. Okay, this functions like a word processor. Okay, good. Don't save. I don't want to save it. There's also spreadsheet, kind of like Excel. I think that's like Excel too. Libre Calc, Excel. There's databases, spreadsheets, and stuff like that. This is the internet browser that it comes with. This browser is optimized for this operating system. So if you try other web browsers like Mozilla, it might be slower. It comes with a video player if you have a DVD player or something. Okay. Pretty much everything an operating system has. I think that's it. Okay, thanks for watching. Let me shut it down first. Go here, shut down. Shut down. Okay, thanks for watching my Ace 1000KS 1975. Signing out. Okay, this is the power switch. You could just click on it and now it shuts it off completely. So even when I shut down the computer on Raspbian, this thing was still on until I pressed this and shut it off. So if you don't have this, you're just gonna have to unplug it from the socket. So that's the only thing. Okay, thanks for watching.